have a question.
Yeah. No, let me know.
Alright, cool. I have a question for Mr. Jean-Baptiste. As it relates. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
So what I get from the minister in the ministry, whatever it is that they plan on raising those bonds. They have this bright idea or this notion that they will be able to intend to raise those bonds or those funds to pay back the NIC. What have the regional or international agencies like IMF, the World Bank said about our future projections for bonds or the market as we should?
That's a very good question. The IMF's latest report, they've spoken about the fiscal situation of the government. Now, when the government came in power in 2016, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank or the Caribbean, I don't know which one, they had a report where they said that the country still has fiscal issues. The government seems to just blow over that. The country still has fiscal issues. Now, when the government borrows, and the government got an ease in that there was a rebasing of the debt to GDP ratio. And again, Raymond doesn't say that. If St. Lucia's GDP to debt ratio was on the old method that we had when we were in government, the debt ratio would be about 80% or even higher than that. And these are the issues that St. Lucians must know. With the rebasing, the St. Lucia's debt to GDP ratio has decreased. So as we speak, the debt to GDP ratio may sound manageable, but the volume is the same. The volume of debt is the same. And to make it worse, he's gone and he's borrowed $175 million US. So in effect, in this fiscal cycle, the government will be borrowing $3.8 billion. That's where you're going to be. Now, he's adding that to the debt to GDP ratio. Let us suppose that because of the rebasing, the debt to GDP ratio can accept that. What happens to future borrowings? Now, coming back to the bond question, a bond is a debt. So he's adding all the time to that mass of debt which the country is holding. So in effect, what the government is doing is they are overborrowing because they are taking advantage of the low GDP ratio based on the rebasing. Now, when he speaks about confidence in the economy's fast bonds, you don't pay the bonds right away. You pay the bonds in 10 years. So, it's just a whole lot of the bonds are going to be paid in 10 years' time. And the same way, we have issues now because he could not get the cash to it when the bonds got retired. If he continues without any fiscal space, because there is no fiscal space. And that is the issue that the country is saying. And that's why we did not go to that debt of $500 million to build the airport. And if you notice, the government of Jamaica has done the same thing with us. The government of Jamaica has said, we're not borrowing that kind of money for airports. The government of Barbados is thinking of going to a PPP with their airports. London's Heathrow Airport is not owned by the government of of England. It's owned by private companies. It's even owned. We weren't going so far. We got a situation where we were saying, and I want the public of St. Lucia to understand the mess in which that government is putting the children of taxpayers as far as that borrowing is concerned. Because here's the government borrowing nearly $500 million to build an airport when they could have got the same thing without borrowing a cent. And the argument that they use is they have an income stream. But that was the same income stream we used to finance it originally. So where is the difference? The difference is they have control over the procurement. That's the major difference. They have control over the procurement of goods and services for that airport. So whereas, if the airport was being built on a public-private partnership, the procurement would have been done by the private firm. And that is a fundamental difference in the two transactions, which St. Lucians must never forget. Knowing the history of that airport, we have to ask ourselves, why is the government hell-bent on putting St. Lucians in debt when that money could be used for several other things? The government didn't have to borrow $400,000, or $175 million US to do many things that we need in St. Lucia. We could have, that money could have done so many things, and we could have still got the airport using the same income stream that he's talking about. The question is, why are you borrowing that money when you could get the same thing using a different process? That is the answer.